Today I'm at Duval Toyota in Boucherville, Quebec. Now normally when I think about performance vehicles, Toyota is not on the top of my list. And I have to say I'm very surprised and impressed that of all the mid-sized family sedans outside of the premium and luxury market, the Toyota Camry here is one of the most powerful. This has a 301 horsepower V6 engine, blowing out of the water most of the other vehicles in this segment. Our spotlight today is on the 2018 Toyota Camry XSE V6. We're going to be showing you everything about this car, going in depth, going for a drive, and going over everything else you need to know if you're in the market for this incredibly quick mid-size family sedan. The 2018 Toyota Camry XSE V6 is one of the vehicles that you've requested, and we're happy to have the chance to bring this spotlight to you. The XV70 is an all-new generation for the 2018 model year, bringing a complete redesign inside and out. We're looking at the Sport version today, which adds a sport front grille, rear spoiler, dual exhaust, and 19-inch alloy rims to the exterior design of this car, over the XLE's more luxury-oriented design. Up front, we have a suite of LED lighting, but no fog lamps are available on the Camry. In the front grille is one of the 4 cameras that make up the 360-degree camera system, along with a front radar shield built into the Toyota badge, which operates the Toyota Safety Sense P systems, such as pre-collision and dynamic radar cruise control. The Camry also has automatic high beams, lane departure alert with steering assist, and front and rear parking sensors. The overall styling of this new Camry might not be for everyone. It's certainly a radical change from previous generations, but I do like the way it looks on the outside. The rear end features the Camry badge printed across the length of the trunk lid, much like the 2018 Hyundai Sonata, and much like the 1992 Acura Vigor we featured late last year. The back trunk opens fully when using the key fob, and the rear premium LED taillights finish off the upgraded lighting system on this mid-size family sedan. The interior is where things start to get interesting. The Sport version has the option for black or red leather, and I think the contrast with this red interior looks pretty fantastic. The interior is also a change from the previous generations, and is especially different in comparison to the 2018 Lexus ES350 we featured last year, which is based on the previous generation. Again, the interior might not be for everyone, with a very asymmetrical design throughout. The interior has softer material used on the center console and dashboard, with a faux wood and aluminium trim on the passenger side. On non-sport models, this would be replaced with a piece of wood trim that looks very nice. There is a heads-up display for the driver, along with a color multi-information display in the gauge cluster. I want to talk about the center console and audio system, because I think this is an important interior feature for buyers, and I have some issues with it. First off, the 8-inch screen is a good size in this segment and features Sirius XM radio, aux and USB input, and Toyota's Entune 3.0 Audio Plus system. You only get 9 speakers though with this JBL synthesis audio system, whereas the 2017 Mazda 6's Bose adds 11 and the Kia Optima had 10. That's not my biggest issue though, so brace yourselves. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are not supported on Toyota vehicles, and for nearly $40,000 you don't even get navigation, something most economy cars now offer for about half the price of this. Rather, Toyota requires you to download an app called Scout GPS Link, which essentially uses its own navigation software on your smartphone in order to power the software on the car. Without the app and an account, your car has no navigation. Had this sort of tech come out 5 years ago, it might have been an okay idea, allowing people to have their favorite addresses synced on their phone for easier access when connecting to your car. But guess what? Apple CarPlay and Android literally do that without having to add yet another app to your phone that you'll never use. Why Toyota wasted their R&D time with this truly baffles me, especially considering they usually want to approach their vehicles as friendly to all customers, and I have a feeling this is going to confuse the hell out of a lot of older customers who just want to have a map on their car. Now you can jump up to the XLE V6 trim that adds actual embedded navigation into the car, but I still think it's a wrong way to approach mobile connectivity in the car. Now the rest of the interior is pretty straightforward. The seats are firm and they've got more sport-oriented feel to them and have good support and adjustment for the driver. The rear seat legroom is good as well, but the armrest just flops down at an angle. We actually didn't film it when we noticed this because we thought it looked stupid, but other journalists have noticed the same thing, and it seems to be common with this car. But enough about the interior. You just want to see what makes this 300 horsepower Camry so interesting on the road just as much as I do. So let's get to it. The Camry is all new for 2018, and with this one, the XSE, it's fully loaded based on being the Sport model. And it actually does more than just add like a little spoiler and nice rims to the back. It's actually got a sport suspension as well, so makes this car much more sporty than certainly a lot of the other vehicles in this segment, but then also very sporty in comparison to the older Toyota Camry models. Now the V6 certainly allows you to have quite a bit more power than you can get on most of the other things. We look at something like the Honda Accord, you can either get a 1.5 liter engine or a 2 liter engine. The Mazda 6 is a 2.5 liter engine. The Kia Optima is either a 2.4 liter or a 2 liter turbo. Having that V6 is certainly a big plus, especially if you're somebody who wants to have a little bit more power and you don't want to go up to something like a Lexus or an Infiniti or a BMW. Whew, turbos are fun, but there's nothing quite like having a V6 or a V8. Gonna go from a dig here. Wow, I am impressed. Wow. It's certainly not going to be blistering speed like we've seen on some of the other vehicles that we feature that have twin turbos or large V8 engines, but for a Toyota Camry, this is pretty impressive. 300 horsepower, 8-speed automatic transmission. You know, if you're buying a mid-sized car, you have a couple kids, maybe you like to drive around with them and you need something safe and reliable and have all the features, but you still want to have a little bit of sport in it, then I think this is a great option, especially with that sport suspension. These are pretty crap roads, and I gotta say that it handles very well. And, you know, the steering is pretty tight, as you can see. And really, it's got the power that you need. You don't really need much more than that in a vehicle of this size, because really, where are you going to go with it? There's the track. You're not going to track this, but it is a nice experience in a vehicle of this size, this price point, and from Toyota. I'm truly surprised. Now, speaking of the seats up front, like I said, this is the Sport model, so they're a little bit more sporty, and I do say they are firmer than some of the other seats that we've sat in. I don't sink into them at all. I'm actually just sitting on top, really, of this leather, and they're pretty comfortable. They're not like sport seats that they're actually going to contour around you. You know, they're still relatively flat, but I think they look quite nice in the red. And overall, you know, if you're buying this to drive to work every day, I think you're going to be pretty comfortable even going with the Sport model. It certainly has a nice seating position. You do feel like you're a little taller than you are, and the windows are, you know, they're a little bit lower down here, so you do have good visibility all around. The A-pillar isn't too big, and having that 360-degree camera system certainly helps to alleviate some of that when you're parking or being, you know, put into an area where it's kind of tight. Maybe you're parking in a underground parking garage. It's nice to have 360-degree cameras as well as parking sensors on the front and the back. Most of the vehicles that we've driven, if they do have parking sensors, they're only on the back, so this is a full 360-degree system, both for the cameras and your parking sensors.
I know I went on a huge rant about this Scout GPS link, but we are a technology news organization, so we do notice these things. I think buyers are also going to notice their data increases too, as most vehicles offer a normal embedded navigation system on their midsize family sedans with the option of Android Auto and Apple CarPlay if they want to. Now I know you can go up to the XLE, but that's almost $41,000 to get navigation, where most people are offering it for a lot less. But let's talk about what makes the 2018 Toyota Camry so good. This is the first Camry that looks fantastic, in my opinion, and it has some very sporty design elements that push Toyota outside of that boring beige image they've been suffering from for decades. The power opening trunk is also a great feature, as other manufacturers haven't added that into this segment yet. The 360-degree cameras and parking sensors are also great features to find on this car. We also like the performance and power of that V6 engine while having a smooth and responsive drive, something again we never thought we'd say about a Camry. It really drives a lot better than some of the performance-oriented vehicles we've tested. But with the good, there is bad, and the Camry has some homework for the next few model years. We already talked about Scout GPS Link, that needs to go. Also, other manufacturers offer ventilated front seats and rear window sunshades in this segment. Power folding mirrors are also often found on other vehicles and is lacking here. Toyota also needs to fix that rear armrest. It's really sad and not an armrest at all. It's just as limp as spaghetti. I think the 2018 Camry is a very compelling vehicle though. We've already seen plenty of them on the road, and I think Toyota is looking at new angles for their vehicles, and this is the start of a new image for them. I'm looking forward to see what else they have in store, and I think Toyota enthusiasts have something great to be excited about. Thanks for watching this episode of Test Drive Spotlight on the 2018 Toyota Camry XSE V6. As always, your support helps make this show possible. So if you enjoyed it, please click that thumbs up button and consider sharing it on social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Reddit. You can also follow Perpetual Radio on Facebook and Twitter, or follow me personally on Twitter and Instagram as @NiallLivesey to see what we're up to and get a sneak peek of the vehicles we're filming. Until next time, take care.